So, I don't know about you guys, but I don't always sleep soundly through the night. Right? Raise your hand if it happens to you too. Right? When I find myself awake, I turn to do some inner work after I've taken the puppy out to the bathroom. I do meditations, I do chants quietly so as not to disturb the dogs that are still sleeping. I do some journaling. I do whatever it takes to calm myself. I've found here lately that a candle is like very helpful. A real candle, not an electronic candle. Because I love to watch the flame dance and I love to watch the wax drip and melt. And the room's dark, so I can't be distracted by other things, and I just look at the candle and I find it to be very helpful. You know, we're told, meditation teachers tell us, use a candle, use a flower, use a blade of grass, right? And we may wonder what's the point? Well, for me the point is I just love staring at that candle. And I'm not distracted by anything else. My mind is able to stay still. So for me, finding stillness is paramount to a good, solid meditation practice. So in the middle of the night, the candle works exceedingly well. A few nights ago, my candle and I were quietly merged. And as I was coming out of this sweet space, I heard, or rather for me, felt these words, think on these things, which is where that came from. At just bang, just like that. Think on these things. So I knew instantly that those words were found in Philippians 4:8. I use Philippians 4:8 pretty frequently. It goes like this. Are you guys familiar? Philippians 4:8. Finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are honorable, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there is any virtue and if there is anything praiseworthy, think on these things. Meditate on these things. Bring them into your innermost being. So I find those words extremely powerful, and we'll be looking how to apply them in a few minutes. But first, let's look at what Charles Fillmore tells us in the Revealing Word. Anybody here have the Revealing Word? A few of us. It's really a excellent resource when you're trying to figure out, well, what did Fillmore think about tree? You can look up tree. I'm not real sure tree is in the Revealing Word. But he tells us this about our thinking. He says it is the inlet and outlet of all our ideas. It's active and zealous and impulsive, but not always wise. How many of us here are aware that our thinking is not always wise? Right? Oh, come on. You all think every single thank you. You think every single thought you think is wise? Shake your head. No, absolutely not. Remember, we just meditated on thinking. You were concentrating on getting rid of thinking that is not wise, that is not helpful. So, yeah, don't try to trick me. So, this is the beauty and the magic of Lent. We can bring all our thoughts and ideas to the cleansing process of Lent and allow Spirit free reign to transform our thinking, as we're told in Romans 12:2. Maybe you know this. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Okay? The purpose of recognizing and participating in Lent, remember, Wednesday was the first day of Lent. It was Ash Wednesday. So we're just heading into it. If you haven't jumped on the train, it's not too late. So if we participate in Lent, the understanding that Lent is a powerfully profound season of spiritual unfoldment and a time of progressive unfoldment. As we have previously discussed, when we can blend and merge our mind with God mind, the way is open to lift us to a higher, purer, more spiritual state. We rid our consciousness of limited thoughts, which we meditated on. We're trying to rid our mind of limited thinking. and that will unencumber and lighten up our understanding. Lent is a season of preparation for Easter. Feel that? Like we're moving into Easter. Easter is important for those of us who are Christians in the sense that unity sees Christianity. Christians as in following the teachings of Jesus. So Lent's a season of renewal. It's a period of reflection and release. Metaphysically, we must face our own crucifixion before we can celebrate our own resurrection. Our own crucifixion and resurrection, you might be wondering about. So how do we do this? First, we sweep away the thoughts that block our good. We started that. We started this morning with sweeping away the thoughts that block our good. We can call this Lenten period of time feasting and fasting. Fasting first and then feasting. This aligns with the tools in our spiritual toolbox called denials and affirmations. Y'all are familiar with denials and affirmations. So, as always, I have experienced that which I am teaching on this week in a very profound way, a personal way. So Ash Wednesday, which was just this last Wednesday, as I said, the first day of Lent, entered my life with a bang. I took a short journey into confusion and chaotic turmoil up here. Yep, emotional upheaval. Does anybody else go through emotional upheaval up here? Thank you. One person, two people. Thank you. We all have emotional turmoils and upheavals. We have to be able to say it to each other. Look at your neighbor and say, yeah. Emotional upheaval and chaotic thinking. Yeah, we all have it. And then came the understanding, again, that I must wait on God, the Christ within, to reveal my next step, rather than doing what Fillmore identified as impulsive and unwise. So, notice my ego, the small I, was trying to be in control. Does anybody else have the small I that tries to be in control? Yes. Now you're waking up. This is what I'm talking about. The transformative power of Lent is not just a message for me to offer you. The message is for me first as well. So I pray for you and for me as well that we will be awake and aware this Lenten season and address our thinking as each negative thought and feeling emerges. Because you won't even get out that door before you're going to have negative thoughts. Do you agree with me? All right, that's what I'm talking about. So I trust that we can use these 40 days to make right and correct choices for our spiritual unfoldment. In addition to the teaching from Paul, which was about transforming our minds, here's a reminder list of many spiritual teachers that spent their lives teaching this. And I've given this list to you before, previously, but you've forgotten it. So I'm going to give it again. Earl Nightingale, you become what you think about. Your world is a living expression of how you're using and have used your mind. Who was that? Thank you, Barb. Neville Goddard, you rise to a higher level of consciousness by taking your attention away from your present limitations and placing it upon that which you desire to be. Who said that? Thank you. Buddha said, what you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create. Who said that? Oprah said, with every experience, you alone are painting your own canvas, thought by thought, choice by choice. Is that correct? Who said that? Napoleon Hill said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. What book did he write? That's right, Think and Grow Rich. I think I heard that out of somebody's mouth. Walt Disney, all your dreams can come true if you have the courage to pursue them. Who said that? Socrates believed that the power of thinking is paramount to living a good life. emphasizing that the unexamined life is not worth living. What does that tell us? We better do some examining. And Lent is the perfect time to do that. He also said that we must actively question and critically analyze our beliefs to achieve true knowledge and virtue. Abraham Lincoln said, always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other one thing. Who said that? You guys are getting good. You're hanging on to this, aren't you? Norman Vincent Peale, you can make yourself sick with your thoughts, and you can make yourself well with them. Let's embrace that. Hug yourself. Do it. Hug yourself. Make yourself well. Who said that? That's right. Wayne Dyer said, if you believe it will work out, you'll see opportunities. If you believe it won't, you'll see obstacles. Goethe said, whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. So you might be wondering, I wonder if there's more pages here. You might be wondering, what does our thinking have to do with Lent? A lot, right? Oh, brother. Thank you. So are you seeing how Lent can help? Do you like that? Okay. What are the ways we choose to recognize and celebrate Lent? During Lent, we can fast from unwanted beliefs using denials, and feast on truth statements using affirmations. For instance, in my own example this week when I was cuckoo, denial. These thoughts do not align with the truth of who I am. I turn from them and face the light. Do you like that? Affirmation. As the daughter of God, profoundly and deeply loved, I can trust that my highest and best will always manifest. You like that? Okay. So these denials and affirmations, they're short because I'm not good at long things, because I'm not good at memorizing. I want to be able to carry around, I turn from the junk and turn toward the light. I want to remember that. So let's go back and look at Philippians 4:8 again and see how this verse can help us in our day-to-day lives, and especially as we're going through Lent. Those things I experienced this past week on day one really twisted my horns. Have you guys ever had your horns twisted? Of course, right? After I took that particular day, the entire day, listen, I took the entire day to slow down. Physically slow down. And I did many pages of writing, including I wrote out 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 prayers. I applied this verse to my situation, and then I called my spiritual advisor. Thank you, God, for her. I tell you right now, there's nothing like having a spiritual guide, a spiritual advisor, who isn't attached to your problem. When she was talking to me, I said, so-and-so, how is it you see this so clearly? And she said, because you can't see past the nose on your face. But I can, because I'm not personally involved in the problem. So wouldn't you like someone to help you see beyond the nose on your face? We all need it. We all need this. Okay, blah, blah. All right. So finally, Lulu, that's me. Whatever is true, and here I applied truth to my situation. Whatever is honorable in this situation. Whatever is just in this situation. Right? You get the idea? This is not to say that applying these words are easy. For surely they're not. But by doing so, it allows me to find the good I didn't even know existed in that particular moment. And again, like all spiritual work, like I tell you all the time, this is not one and done, right? There's nothing that we do spiritually that is one and done. Nothing. It's a progressive unfoldment, a rising up to higher level consciousness. That is what we want, right? All right, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. So you may need to look up some of these words, like honorable. We think we know what honorable means. It means, of course, being worthy of honor or being a decent, honorable person. If or a situation that's decent and honorable. We may think that there are situations that have no decency and no honor in them. And I see some of you shaking your heads. Of course, we think that, but we got to dig away all the dirt, all the sewer, and find if it's just one tiny little thing that's good and honorable. Particularly if it's about a person that you're doing this with, you can find one thing that's honorable about that person. I promise you, you can. So please use, what's the verse I said? 4:8. Write it down, you all. Right this minute. Get out your pens and write down Philippians 4:8. Yeah, you have little books somewhere. I'm telling you, it will just really release so much junk. It really, really will, if you'll take the time to do it. So, my suggestion, as I just said, is to look up this verse, Philippians 4:8, and write it down. Because the day, meaning this day, may not go to bed before something or someone irks you. Can you imagine being irked? Yeah. Just shake your head because you know you're going to be irked. Something will happen as you drive. Something will happen at some point where something will irk you. So use these 40 days to engulf yourself in this transformative work. Only you can do this. It won't happen if you wait to come to church on Sunday. Consider your thoughts. Catch them in a minnow net. Spread them out on paper. Examine them with a microscope if necessary, and then line them up. Philippians 4:8. You know what I did on this particular day? Y'all are going to think this is nutty. But I have always wondered how many times I have thoughts that run like this. Do you all wonder that? Try writing them down. Pages and pages and pages of, God, this pillow is lumpy. This doesn't taste right. I mean, they're mostly all negative, little negative thoughts. The shoe doesn't fit right. Why did he poop in the house again? I have a 5-month-old puppy. I mean, if you write down your thoughts, it took me pages. And that day was spent doing that. Writing down my thoughts, catching them in a minnow net, spreading them out on the page, and measuring up against Philippians 4:8. In what ways is the person or the situation honorable, just, pure, lovely, commendable, excellent, or praiseworthy? Do this one at a time, slowly and meditatively. This is not to say that there are persons or situations that should not be removed from our lives just because you searched for the term honorable in them. Remember, we always seek our highest and best in all situations. There may be nothing that would compel you to remain in a job or a relationship or whatever. We seek to raise our vibration. We seek to lift our consciousness. That's why we're here. To lift our consciousness. To connect with God mind. To get in touch with the I am. Be still and know that I am. It's what I talked about last time I was here. And during this spiritual and holy season of Lent, we seek to become ready for our own crucifixion. And then, on Easter, our own resurrection. And our resurrection is a rebirth of our old self to our new self, which we can do with every breath. The old breath that you exhaled died. When you inhaled a new breath. Philippians 4:8 is a tool we can use to become ready for our resurrection and for our crucifixion and then our resurrection. It's just a way, more truthfully, to clear out the old and bring on the new by thinking on these things. Amen.